Alright, so we have our esophagus. We'll start at the mouth and the tongue, and then the oropharynx, the laryngopharynx. The epiglottis is going to close off the respiratory passageway, so you're going to go into the esophagus, into the stomach. Between the esophagus, well, first of all, at the upper portion of esophagus, you're going to have your upper esophageal sphincter. Between esophagus and the stomach, you will have your lower esophageal sphincter, or cardiac sphincter, or gastroesophageal sphincter. So you can pick one, 3 names, right? So all of this is going to be your stomach. Stomach has several regions. So it has the very first region right over here is going to be a cardiac region, just like cardiac sphincter, cardiac region. The bump right here is going to be a fundus. And you'll hear fundus again when we talk about the uterus of the female reproductive system. So the fundus is going to be the bump. The majority of your stomach is going to be called the body. And then the pyloric region is going to be right over here. Between the pyloric region and the small intestine will be a pyloric sphincter. The stomach has, we already talked, it has an extra muscle layer, right, the oblique layer. And then it's going to have the rugae. The rugae are pretty much folds, so when your stomach fills with food, these folds will pretty much just open up and unfold and allow for the stomach expansion, so you can, eat 5 pounds of pizza. But there's, if you look at the stomach, it has 2 curvatures. It has the greater curvature and the lesser curvature. From greater curvature will come the greater omentum, and it's going to go all the way down and wrap around all of the organs below the stomach and wrap around them, so like a little apron, and just pretty much, again, to keep everything intact, so when you run around, your organs are not all mixed up together and stuff. And then from lesser curvature will come with lesser omentum, and lesser omentum will go to the liver and connect the stomach to the liver, again, for anchoring. We did not talk about the lobes of the liver. We'll talk about that. Alright, so then you're going to go through the pyloric sphincter into the small intestine. The small intestine has 3 parts to it. The very first part is going to be your duodenum. Duodenum is going to terminate about here. It's very, very short. So the duodenum, then you're going to have your ileum and jejunum, or jejunum and then ileum. The way you can tell them apart, anatomically, if you draw a diagonal line like that, this is going to be your jejunum, that's going to be your ileum. They will ask you for duodenum because you know it's connected to the stomach. They will ask you for ileum because you know it's connected to the large intestine. Jejunum, I doubt anybody's going to ask you for that. But just if you are just to kind of eyeball, ballpark it, jejunum, ileum. Alright, duodenum will have these folds right here, and we talked about those already. So these are called plicae circularis, and then the second specification in the small intestine is going to be the villi, and then on top of villi you have microvilli again, right? So you're going to go from duodenum into the jejunum and then to the ileum, into the large intestine. The first portion of the large intestine is called the cecum. Between the ileum and the cecum, you will have your ileocecal valve. From the cecum hangs off your appendix, or as they call it, I can't even say that word. So I'll call it appendix. Vermiform, vermi something appendix. But anyways, the appendix. The cecum, the ascending colon. So it should be somewhere right here. The transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, which you don't see on this model because it's in the back. So if you look at this, we'll see our cecum, appendix, ascending, transverse, descending. Sigmoid is going to be S-shaped. So if you turn it around, there's your sigmoid colon. And then the rectum. And here you can see, so this would be a part of sigmoid colon. This is going to be, so when Dr. Boric talked about getting your sigmoid colonoscopy, they only look up to like here. That's it. So what's the point, right? When you have all of this. So there's your rectum, and then the anus. Around anus, we have two sphincters, the internal and the external sphincters. Just like around the urethra, an internal going to be voluntary or involuntary and smooth muscle, and then an external going to be voluntary skeletal muscle. The large intestine is anchored to the posterior body wall by mesocolon, and you can see it right here. So this is the back view, mesocolon, which is going to attach this to the posterior body wall. There are around when you look at your pigs, you can see that you can kind of stretch out the small intestine, and you'll see thin layer of connective tissue with lots of blood vessels, and those are the mesenteries of the small intestine. Now I didn't talk about